Greetings of peace. Welcome to the channel Being Huma, where we, the soul sisters, come and connect together to celebrate our humanness. This video is the 7th video in the series of videos in which I read short excerpts from my book 37 Lessons on How to Gain from Loss, A Believer's Journey from Trial to Triumph. If in case you are new here, I highly recommend that you go and check out all the previous videos so you can be at the same part of the journey within the book with the rest of us here on this channel. Also, I do share certain exercises or action steps at the end of the video, so keep watching till the end so you don't miss out all those exercises and action steps. Also, if you're new here, you can find the links to purchase my book in the description box below. If you want to connect with me on social media, I'll be so happy to connect with you. Also, if you need a personal coaching session or you want to just have some more guidance, you can subscribe to the free newsletter as well as the free course that I have, and all the links are in the description box below. I truly and sincerely appreciate all of you and all your love and support that you're sending my way in the form of your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. And I really want to take this opportunity to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This video is the 7th video in the series, and before I get into the video, I'd like to give you a brief background about my mother and her journey with cancer, because this book is about my personal transformation journey of going from trial to triumph as a daughter and as a caretaker of losing my mom to cancer in 2015. So my mom was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer in around March 2014. She had a local area excision, which is like a small operation. Her lymph nodes weren't involved, so it was really in the beginning. The cancer was just at the earliest stage. After that, she had many preventive therapies such as chemotherapy, radiotherapy, which ended in September 2014, and she was on the hormonal medicine, which is tamoxifen, for the next 5 years. However, she didn't make it to the next 5 years. That is a different story because she passed in November 2015. So I'm going to read you a passage from a chapter called Cancer Metastasis on page 73. Within a few days of arrival, I woke up early morning to my brother's broken voice on the other end of the phone. He could not speak. As soon as the doctor called him with her MRI results at night, he woke up my mother at 3 a.m. and rushed to the emergency room. After a long and impossible wait for him and my mother, who was in excruciating pain, they decided to run tests on her. My brother's words still reverberate in my ears. With voice that could not lift the weight of his speech, he explained his correspondence with the medical staff. When I rephrased them to determine the accuracy of my comprehension, which through the paint of my naive perception has drawn a picture of rose-colored life, I was punched with realism. What are the doctors saying? I inquired. They will decide to let her stay or send her home after the test results, he replied. You mean if she's fine, they will send her home? I asked with sparking optimism. No, they will only admit her if there is any hope left. Otherwise, they will send her home, he explained in a hoarse, fragmented voice. He hung up, leaving my mental faculties speechless, in between trying to connect his words into a proper sentence and extracting sense out of them. I wished the earth beneath my feet could absorb the explosion of throbbing emotions inside me, or the air around me would carry their hefty mass and disperse them. Her cancer was stage 4. It had spread throughout her body, and nothing could be said before the test results came. The news was unbelievable. The perplexing moment entered moments of terror. I was petrified by the thought of losing my mother, one instance of life that we uphold so tightly in this ephemeral life, which indeed is destined to cease without prior notice. Life and thoughts both possess transient nature, but how often do you find yourself standing against nature? How long do you stay put in disagreement with natural idiosyncrasies of creations, disallowing them to navigate their instinctive course? Withholding the innately fleeting thoughts of fear close to heart only bypasses their awareness of movement in the time-space reality that still passes by. Why do you fail to see that thoughts like life and time are also inherently temporary? They must come and go. They must live and die. Why do you deny them their native rights and force upon them permanence? I was glad not to take long in letting the dread fade away. Her results came and she was admitted for treatment. I went to the former hospital to get her old reports and scans, endlessly wondering if most of her painful therapy of chemo and preventive medication was unnecessary. Everyone, including some doctors from a previous hospital, kept asking me how it all happened and what went wrong. Questions I least bothered to think about. A streak of anger at such useless questions snapped in me and subsided because I had no time for pondering over them or the ineffectual emotion of anger. I just looked for solutions and what was the best that could be done right now. She was lucky to receive treatment at one of the best cancer facilities in America and showed signs of improvement. I was hopeful and so was she. She was an optimistic person with a fighting spirit and wanted to live. I used to have constant conversations with her over the phone and things appeared stable and improving to me. We tried to research alternatives to chemo and we did all we could. Herbal medication, organic oil treatment, spiritual medicine. It seemed to work. And then in November, her condition started to deteriorate. The last few months were like a roller coaster ride, up and down. One day there was hope, the next desperation. The situation was very volatile and constantly changing. However, nothing matched the month of November. November of 2015 was one of the most difficult months of my life, and I cannot find words in my vocabulary to describe it. It was complicated, overwhelming, not just emotionally, but also physically. I located myself in a bizarre sector. Imagine being under a mountain. What an indescribable burden to carry. I was drained with the load because the hollow in my body could not withstand it. For the first time in my life, I started missing breath. When I noticed this new physical change, I was astonished. Why have I stopped breathing normally? How? When? I did not have time to explore as to why I was holding my breath subconsciously. I reminded myself to breathe normally, but after a few seconds of conscious breathing would drift off back into the recently incepted pattern. Psychology influences physiology, and its adjustment depends on adjusting the mind. Many physiological deviations happened to pass by my eyes, but such diverging newness from the norm was one that remained ungrasped at that point. Nature is always on our side. It was preparing me for the inevitable by mixing my visions with optimism. The journey between hope and desperation, fear and calmness, stress and relaxation became frequent. It was like being caught up in a tornado. This is what I went through continually, sometimes between morning and evening or day and night, again and again. To come to a knowing that I express next in my writing as the understanding of the position to seek during the tribulations of life. So on that note, we come to the end of today's reading. I have shared some of my most intimate moments with you, and now it's your turn. I would really love to hear what is the position that you seek during the tribulations of life, and have you sought such a position? If you want to know more about this position that I'm talking about in my reading today, let me know in the comments below because I'll make a video for you. So share the love, spread the message, and until next time, take really good care of yourself. Love, peace, and blessings.